I have always wanted to know what it is that poets see. Their view of nature is intricate. What is it that they know that I don't? How is it that they can perceive things on earth differently from the way I do? I'm unaware what Mary Oliver went through in the woods when she wrote, "Something whispered something that was not even a word. It was more like a silence that was understandable." I'm oblivious to what Victoria Chang saw in a forest when she writes, "Every leaf that falls never stops falling. I once thought that leaves were leaves. Now I think they're a feeling in search of a place." I've always thought about this line by Wendell Berry: "I come into the peace of wild things who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief." What was it that he was experiencing? What was going through his life at the time to feel and then also write such a beautiful line? I can't picture myself feeling the same thing. I don't think I could ever know what it is that these poets saw. It seems impossible to live through the same wonder that these writers did. I'm reminded of a quote by John Green: "From the quark to the supernova, the wonders do not cease. It is our attentiveness that is in short supply, our ability and willingness to do the work that awe requires." I live in a fragmented reality, a distracted world. I'm constantly overthinking about my future and always escaping into nostalgia. I carefully deconstruct every emotion I feel instead of being in them. I'm running away from the present. In the last few years, I haven't spent time in nature with the same care as some of these writers. I avoid putting in the effort that awe requires. I tried to change this by doing my first ever Himalayan trek last month in peak winters. Over the course of 4 exhausting and intense days, I think maybe, just maybe, I was able to grasp what poets see. I spent almost a week in the mountains and forests, making the effort to experience awe. I was living very briefly in a world I had never witnessed before. I did not know forests could be so dense yet soft. I never imagined mountains were so vast, tall, and intricate. I never felt so small before. I never felt the fear of standing at a cliff while marveling at the moon, bidding goodbye to the night, all at the same time. Slowly, I started to pay attention to myself and my surroundings a lot more these days. We walked through the forests, crossed river streams, and rested at beautiful meadows. It was quiet in the mountains. Not the uneasy one you feel at work or when you're alone and anxious. This quiet was comfortable. Like Mary Oliver said, a silence that was understandable. I saw the seeds of a flower that would bloom soon. The muddy and rocky paths gave way to moments of wonder. I walked on snow. The moss around me was informing me where the light was. I felt my heart beat loudly. I witnessed leaves falling, perhaps in search of a place. On the final day, I managed to make it to the Chandrashila summit. I was flooded with emotions. I saw a sea of mountain peaks all around me. I didn't realize Tolkien was actually right when he described the mountains in Lord of the Rings. I didn't know such a sight was possible. At that moment, I thought, I get it, Mr. Berry, I really do. The weight of my chest disappeared. I wasn't worrying about the future because there was no future to think about, no doubts, burdens, or responsibilities to contemplate. All possible struggles and difficulties faded away into the horizon. I am here in the present, utterly and completely astonished, deeply in awe. The forethought of grief is not taxing me, and I think about the final line from the poem the peace of wild things. For a time, I rest in the grace of the world and am free.